Romans 4:23. But the words, "it was counted to him," were not written for his sake alone, but for ours also. This is such a key text in Paul's argument because he spent all of chapter 4 making an argument that Abraham received righteousness because of his faith. What happened between Abraham and Paul was you had the Mosaic covenant, you had the law, you had the sacrificial system, and you also have David and the covenant with David, but you also have what we find in Jeremiah and Ezekiel, a promise of a new covenant. Jesus comes along as the new covenant. And what Paul here is doing is he is connecting the dots from Christians in the first century to Abraham and saying it was counted to him as righteousness through faith. It is counted to us as righteousness through faith. Nothing changed. And this is probably more about the law. When you read chapters 2 and 3, where the law is at play, where things like circumcision are at play in terms of being Jewish and their identity, Paul wants to remind us, hey, our identity as God's people is based on faith, not based on what you do. He says that when he's talking about no one is a Jew externally, but they are a Jew internally by the Spirit. As 21st century believers, this is something we have to remember. We are Christians not because we do Christian things. We are Christians because we have faith in Christ, because we follow Christ, because we believe Christ is King, right? That is what makes us who we are. Our faith, our identity, everything about us is tied to our King. It's not tied to the things we do. It's about the internals. It's about what does my heart believe, where are my allegiances, what is going on in my mind, all of that. And that kind of comes out in the next several chapters of Romans, specifically chapter 8, where Paul gets into life in the Spirit. But we have to remember that the benefit that Abraham received because of his faith is also the benefit we receive because of our faith. And that is good news.